My name is Peggy Brawn.
Yeah, and where were you born, Peggy?
In Bridge Street, Central Bridge Street.
Where Brawn's flower shop is
Yes.
now, yeah? What was there previously?
A butcher shop.
That was your father's place, was it?
Yes.
And was he long in it?
Years.
Years. Has it been long in your family, that building?
1905.
They bought it in 1905.
No, they didn't buy it until 34.
They
It was a family by the name of Begins that rented it
to your family?
to the family.
To the family, yeah. And what age are you now?
92.
92. So you were reared on Bridge Street, were you?
I left Bridge Street at 8.5.
Yeah. Can you remember Bridge Street then?
I can, of course.
And what was it like then? Were there many cars on it?
There was 3 cars in Westport.
Who had them? Can you remember who had them?
The doctor, the priest, and the rector.
And the rector. And what kind of transport had they then? How used people to get around?
Walk, or a sidecar,
Sidecar.
or a pony and trap.
And would there be many sidecars and pony and traps on the street now at that time?
Not on the street. They'd bring them Sunday to bring them to mass. And for state occasions they brought them for a wedding or
And when they came to town during the week, how did they come in?
walked mostly.
Walked in. And cycled, I suppose.
The bicycle didn't catch on that much.
And where did you go then when you were 8.5?
To the Quay, where the Quay pub is now.
And why did you go out there?
My aunt bought it. My father remarried when I was 7 years.
And your aunt then, that was your father's sister, was it?
Yes.
What was her name?
Mary Brawn.
Mary Brawn.
Brawn.
Yeah.
B-R-A-W-A.
Yeah. And she ran the pub then, did she?
She ran the pub.
And how long did she have the pub?
Years.
Who had it before her? Can you remember?
Moors.
Moors. And where were they from?
Oh, the Quay.
Down the Quay. Are the Moors still around?
No, but her Mrs. Moore's sister, the family are around.
And what family are them?
Moorings of the River.
More than the river. Oh, okay, right, yeah. And where did you go to school?
I went to the Quay for 4 years,
The old Quay school.
the old Quay school,
And were there many students in at that time?
a big crowd.
Big crowd. And it gradually dwindled down, did it, over the years? Closed down? Did it close down? It did close down, did it?
I think it's back again.
Oh, it's back
the
again?
time it was going to close, and the past pupils got together and threw in a few shillings, as it was, at the time, to save it. And now there's 4 teachers, I believe, in it.
That's right, yeah. And then you went into town school, the convent, did it?
I went to the convent for a few months when I first started going to school.
Yeah.
And I didn't go until I was 7.5.
And
And when I went back, then it was the Sacred Heart School I went. Secondary education.
you did you do your leaving cert, you did?
I did everything.
You did everything, yeah. And what did you do after
Oh, went
Secondary
to the
school?
pub straight away.
straight into the pub then, yeah? And how long did you run the pub for?
Years. I cannot be honest how many years I ran it.
And who did you sell it to then?
Pether Holland.
Oh, Pather. He put the supermarket in there, didn't he? Did? No, supermarket was next door.
The
Yeah.
supermarket was next door. He owned the supermarket.
And what year was that about?
1929, and he came to the Quay.
You came to the Quay in 29?
Yes,
Yeah. And when did you sell to Pather?
1971.
1971. You have a great memory.
Well, it's 70 or 71, but it
No, it's very good, yeah.
was nearer to 71, I'd say.
And who took it after Pather then? Did he run it as a pub? He did.
He bought it, Pether Holland bought it, and he rented it to various people.
Back through the years, yeah.
So I don't know whether he owns it now or not.
So what year did you say you took it over?
Pardon?
What year did you take it over?
1934.
And what was it like down the Quay then?
The Quay dockers earned £6 or £7 10 shillings a week, when a bank clerk earned £1 5 shillings.
I was going to say that was great money, wasn't it, yeah?
They were called the Quay bankers.
And what were they doing? What were they bringing in the port that time, into the harbour? What kind of stuff were they bringing in?
flour and
Timber?
timber and coal.
Coal. I think they were bringing in feed as well for cattle, were they?
I don't think so.
You don't think so, yeah. And were they good drinkers?
They drank and they paid for what they drank.
And how much was the pint that time?
9p.
9p. That's the cheapest you ever remember, is it?
It went to 10p for a short spell, and they gave up the drinking when it went up the penny.
How long did that last for?
It had to go back to the 9p.
And did it go up all over the place or just down the quay?
Oh, there was 8 publicans at the Quay.
8 publicans. Can you remember them?
I can, of course.
Who were they?
They were all women running them.
Which pubs were they?
They were where the Tower Bear is now, was McCafferty's.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's right. Yeah. And where the escort is, who was there?
McBride's?
Yeah, okay. And who else was in it?
I think they ran it for a good while.
Yeah. And can you remember the other publicans?
There was Harkins in Rossbeg,
And where was their pub?
just up the road near the graveyard.
Oh, Harkins, I know Harkins. They're still there. Harkins are still there, yeah? The house is still there, yeah? Was the pub out there, was there?
The pub wasn't there. The pub was in Rossbeg,
In Rathbeg.
looking out into the tide.
Not the Shebean, no?
Exactly right.
That's the Shebean.
I couldn't think of
You couldn't think, that's fair enough, yeah. And who else was there?
Hopkins's.
And where was their pub?
They were at the Rossbeg,
At the Shebean as well?
yes.
Okay. And anybody else you can remember for the pub?
There were a good many years in the pubs. When they took over the pub, they took it over for a good number of years. And when they took it,
And were there many boats calling into the quay that time?
I believe there was 5 boats a week.
5 a week. You remember seeing them, you do, yeah?
Well, I do, but I didn't.
And would you walk down the quay that time yourself now? Would you walk down to see the boats?
Not on my own.
Not on your own, why?
Well, you were only a child.
Yeah, but when you got older, when the fellows were coming in drinking pints and all that, but
No, you
you still wouldn't go down,
and now, but you were brought in, when the boats were brought in, you were brought in to see the captain's area,
Onto the boat, yeah.
onto the boat. But the dockers wouldn't allow us to go in on our own.
Would they not?
No.
Was it too dangerous or they were just
But they were afraid of problems.
problems with the ladies? And what were the boats like inside? When they could see the captain's cabin?
They were as good a size as you'd see it get down.
And were the boats big?
They were big.
They were big, yeah.
The captain, there was the mate. He was second in command.
Mm-hmm. Well, there were a dredger down there that time.
There was.
And was it there for years? It was there all the time, nearly all the time, yeah?
What's the name? What was the dredger? It used to be placed, you know, where McBride's is now, you know, in the corner, going down around the corner.
Yeah, it was in there.
The dredger was in there.
And did you know the captain of that?
Peter Hopkins. He was a pilot.
Peter Hopkins, eh?
He had his own right.
And where was he from?
Rossbeg, looking into the boat.
Yeah, he was the captain of the boat, or the skipper, or whatever they
He
call
was
it.
the captain.
Was there any fisheries down there that time? Any fishing much done?
Just privately.
Yeah, there was no like
There was no
fleet or
commercial.
no commercial stuff.
No cover, not that I know of.
Okay. And you know the buildings along by the quay there, were they
They were there always.
in good shape or were they ruined in your
They
time?
were not ruined.
They were.
They were brought in, Indian maize
Indian maize, yeah?
was brought into Innislyre, and they went out in boats and brought it up, and a winch should go down and lift out the grain
Yeah.
into the, I saw all that happening.
And was it stored in the buildings then as well?
It was stored in the buildings.
And did the buildings look...
There was a caretaker and in the office,
And can you remember who the caretaker was?
John Foy's.
And where was he from?
They lived in the area.
In the area, okay. Yeah. Are there any of the Foys left there now?
John Foy, that you know. Now.
Oh, John, his father then, was it?
Yes.
Okay. What was it like going to school that time?
I went to the Quay school for 4 years.
Yeah.
From October 1929 to September 1934. 34 was that year that I left and went to the secondary school.
Yeah. And who was your teacher?
Jack Flatley.
Jack Flatley.
And his wife was Gibbons.
And did she teach? She didn't teach, did she?
Oh, she was the assistant.
Oh, okay. And how many teachers were in the school? The two of them, is it?
Two of them.
Two of them, yeah.
And she corrected your exercise for you.
Yeah. Was she fair?
Very much so.
Yeah. Did they have a cane or any kind of corporal punishment?
They had the cane all right.
Yeah. Was it used much?
On occasions it was used too much.
Was it usually deserved, it was?
I don't think it was deserved in some cases.
I think that time most schools had it anyway, didn't they, you know?
Huh?
Most schools had it that time. Had the cane, yeah. So then what was the convent like?
The convent was, I was there a short while in the convent. Not enough now to judge.
And you went to the Sacred Heart School then, yeah?
I went to the Sacred Heart School.
Was that a nice place, yeah?
It was, there was one teacher, Miss Starr,
Yeah.
and she became a nun afterwards. She became Sister Anthony, I think it was.
Was she
And
the,
she was very fair.
were they the doors that owned the Mayo News, did it? Was that right?
You're right.
Do you remember them, the doors?
Yes.
Do you remember, was the two brothers owned the Mayo News, is it?
I don't know how many brothers owned it.
And where did the doors live?
They lived, I think, out in Rosbeck, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of that now. But I know my father was in with them a good lot. Because he came from the south of Ireland as well.
Who did? Your
My father.
Did he? Where did he come from?
Between Killaloo and Scariff,
Oh, Clearman.
on the main road.
Oh, okay.